Checking in with Quincy City Council President, Councilor at Large Noel DeBona for a recap of the latest council meeting. How are you, Noel?
Good morning, Joe. How you doing this morning?
Doing very well, thank you. Thanks for checking in, and congratulations on your great turnout at the election last week.
Thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate it. And thank you to the voters for going to the polls and giving me the votes that I needed to get to re-election. And this, I'll be starting my fifth term on January 2nd, I believe, January 1st, January 2nd. So I really appreciate it to the voters at the end of the day. I mean, they're the ones who are going to elect you or re-elect you. So I really appreciate everybody coming out. We had 29.93%, just under 30% of the voters went out. So little over 19,000 folks that are registered voters out of the 63.7, I believe.
That's correct. Yeah. And once again, Noel, you topped the ticket citywide. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much, Joe. I want to thank the 2,869 voters that did vote for me, and comes out to around 67.5% of the voters out there, which is around two-thirds, a little over two-thirds of the folks. So I really do appreciate it. I take this very seriously. This is the job we're doing. We're talking on the phone today about what we do in the city council, but campaigning is a separate set of the job. I mean, you have to get reelected and elected to serve those seats. So, and we try to do the best I can at the city council level to have the proper transparency and working together with the mayor and the administration to solve issues and solutions to doing it. So here we go, Joe.
Actually, you said 2,000. It was over 12,000, Noel, that voted for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. 12,869. Thank you for helping me out with the number.
That's right. And now it's right back to work, right?
It sure is. And it's good to be back in the city council chambers and getting some work done. And we'll go right into the agenda items. Our first one was the land taking, order of taking, and the adopting of the eminent domain of 119 Parking Way. We had put this on the agenda back on June 20th, right before the summer session of this year, 2023. And it was moved on to the agenda last night and voted on. We had an 8-0 vote, unanimous last night. And the acquisition and the appraisal went in at $9.45 million. And then it was kind of discussed with the downtown group. And we went in for a vote for Councilor McCarthy, and the ordinance was also in finance. We had already approved the finance originally from the diff. So we just needed to get to the appraisal, and the appraisal came in at $9.45 million. So approved, and we're moving on. The other items that were on there were basically put into ordinances as well as being advertised, possibly a public hearing, just about the discontinuing of a dead end on Walter Hannon Parkway, the layout of the public right way of, McConville Way, Hannon Park and Way. There's a lot of different things into the Ross Way. We put them Dunford Drive, like these things are put into be advertised, and possibly will be on December 4th meeting, possibly for a public hearing. Do it correctly, do it formality wise. So those were put into the ordinance as well and being advertised, the other four items.
Okay.
We had a nice resolve from Councilor Harris. Yeah, go right ahead. Go ahead and go. You have any other questions?
No, not at all.
And then we went in. No, okay, thank you. And then we went into Councilor Harris was requesting a city of Quincy in the Ward 5 area of the cut-through streets, everything off of Wollaston Beach, starting from the CVS all the way down right to Vassal. I don't know if you know this, Joe, but half of Vassal Street is in Ward 6, and half of the street is in Ward 5. So all those particular streets that are going from Wollaston Beach up to Billings all the way up to Hancock Street, there's a lot of cut-throughing going on in the city. When we have folks going over that Fall River Bridge and coming back over the DePonset Bridge that don't live here in the city. They live in Weymouth, they live in Hingham, they live in Cohasset, they live in Scituate, and they're just crossing through our cities. And then you also have people delivering goods all over the city with bigger trucks, and the cut-throughing in these streets, the Atlantics, the Connaughts, the Billings, the Websters, the Appleton, Miltons, Colbys, the North and South Bayfield. And I also added Arthrop Street, which is a cut-through as well. Thank you for Councilor Harris as a friendly amendment to add those streets. But he said any street that goes from CVS all the way down to Vassal in Ward 6. So they're going to do a comprehensive, hopefully a traffic study from the traffic engineer, and come back to the council and let us know the data and what's going on. That's been a concern of mine over the last 8 years of being on the council. I've gotten a lot of emails and calls over the years, and I applaud Councilor Harris for bringing this in, and let's dive into it and get it mitigated. You know.
Okay, so this goes into committee.
This goes into committee, and was approved last night in public safety. It will go into, so which is really, really good. I brought in a resolution last night about our lead pipes in the city. There's 22, let's get the numbers right, 22,800 privately owned lines that come in for the piping. Of the 285, there's 79 that have still not done their own piping and to see if there's lead free. Now, this is no means by saying, hey, listen, we have a lot of lead in our pipes. It's just some of them are privately owned, and I'm addressing it at a level of asking the 79 out of the 285 that haven't really gone to the city and asked to do the pipes to redo them is to coming forward. We had a lot of discussion last night about how do we, this is basically a child safety lead abatement. It also, you don't want that deterring for adults as well. You have a lot of ADHD, you have a lot of, stunting growth. There's a lot of different things that are factors with lead. So we're asking the 79 privately owned folks if they want to come forward, and we're willing to help out. Chief of Staff Chris Walker chimed in on, listen, if the folks can't afford, the city we're willing to help out with the lead abatement for the pipes. So I thank my colleagues in government and my colleagues on the city council for helping me out in approving this. This is going to be put into oversight, public works, as well as environmental and public health. So we go into these separate, committees, and hopefully in the near future, we'll talk a little bit more about them. Clean water initiatives was a big item that I carry forward for my 8 years of being on the city council. We've done a pretty good job with some of the pipings in the schools over the years, and this is to take it another step forward. And we really, water mains, sewer replacements, everything, the infrastructure. Now we got to get to the lead pipes. So it's another piece of the pie, and government working together. I want to work with the administration. I want to work with the mayor on getting and finding solutions and initiatives for this clean water. So that's going to be put into committee and was approved last night.
Okay, very good. So, and just to be clear, Noel, it's, the city will help pay for that pipe replacement if need be.
They will do the best they can to help out any homeowners or any landlords that have an issue with the funding. So that is a great thing that Chris Walker put forward, that I believe what the mayor would be in lockstep with. So I want to thank the administration for helping us out, and hopefully we can get the word out to those 79, the 79 homeowners or landlords that they can, work together on getting these solved.
Yeah. So did they reach out to the city if they want to learn more about that?
Yes, they can. And they can reach out to me directly. You can email me. You can go on my website and look that stuff up and get an email straight to my email address, ndebona@quincyma.gov. And the best way to do it is by email. And the reason being is I can forward these to the proper departments. They can call me as well at 617-376-1357 too, as well. But the direct one was, I can get the address, and I can get that to the right department, and we can work on that. So feel free to reach out to me for that.
Okay, very good. It looks like there was one other item, the Quincy Housing Authority Board appointments.
Yes, that appointment went through and unanimously, and we're looking forward to moving that forward.
Very good.
John DeCarli was the person's name. But yes, unanimous vote. And just Joe, thank you for everything you do over at QATV. Thank you for the election night. You guys did a really good job. I want to give a shout out to Nicole Crispo, our Madam Clerk, and the entire elections department on working on the early voting, the mail-in and absentee voting, and driving the number up. And we all work together. The polling places, a few of them change, about half of them. And we worked out the kinks in this election, and now we go into the statewide elections and the presidential elections, and hopefully all the folks will know. The unfortunate end of it is we had some redistricting happen this previous year and the year before, so we had to move things around with wards based on population. They all have to have the equal representation of population. So we worked out the kinks in this last municipal election, and hopefully in the state election next year and the presidential, that we have the proper polling places in place and make it easier for people to vote. So big shout out to Madam Clerk Crispo, and Joe Newton, the assistant clerk, and everybody in elections, and you over at QATV did a phenomenal job with the election night in the pre. I remember Nicole Crispo saying we're at 26% at 6:00 p.m. and you guys were live on that on QATV. So thank you for everything you guys do. And we're looking forward to going into the holiday season here in November. We have another meeting next Monday, Joe. So November 20th, put it back on the agenda, on the map. And well, I'll see you the next day, or we'll talk to you in the next day. That's okay with you, Joe?
Yeah, that would be great. I'd appreciate it, Noel. And of course, this will be your last year as president of the city council. So you'll have to inform the new president that this is part of their duty every Tuesday morning is to check in with QATV.
It sure is. And real quick, I forgot to say that the Quincy firefighters local 792 gave an award to Chuck Phelan last night. He gave it to me because he couldn't make it last month, and I presented it to him with the council last night, just on all his hard work and dedication and commitment to the firefighters. So in behalf of Tom Bowes, the president, and Chief Joe Jackson, we gave that award to Chuck last night in the council chambers. It was really nice. And afterwards, we took a couple photos. It was really nice to do that. And I'm really going to miss Chuck in general. He's leaving voluntarily, coming off the council. And he's only got about 3 more meetings, as well as I have 3 more meetings for council president. So just kudos out to and thank you to Chuck for everything he's done, and thank you to the firefighters for allowing me as council president to give it to him.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Yes, there'll be 3 new councilors next year. Any advice for them, Noel?
We used to do, when I first got onto the council, we used to do this little like it's called council school, and I don't know if they do it anymore, but just listen in the beginning. I remember that I asked the mayor when I first got onto the school committee. I says, what should I do for advice? He goes, listen, first couple meetings, maybe just listen, kind of see where the feel is of where you can interject on certain items. And then you get a little feel for it over a couple of meetings. And then now you know where you can kind of ooze into it, and just be a sponge. Everybody, the thing about being a council president is there's a lot of different personalities up there, and you got to figure out how their personalities chime in on what they want to bring into the council, and work with people. This is a working, you got to work with the mayor, you got to work with the administration, and you got to work with your fellow councilors. You may not always agree on things, but you got to give them the respect. All 9 members coming in there this term will be elected. So they're elected officials too. So I try to keep that in mind when I give advice that, listen, there's no appointees in this group. They're all elected. So you give them the respect of being an elected official too.
All right. Good advice. Thanks so much, Noel.
Thank you so much, Joe, and have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.